to me, enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. You won't bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, is enough, is enough. Enough is enough. They're always taking their sides, careless and nine, plus and minus their divide. I'm seeing color in black and white, so won't be defined. There's something you owe me. Give it back to me. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Queen of the Indies Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the Queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And today I have my good friend, the People's Prince, Darian Bengston. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for that.
Yes. I was like, I have to put that in there. So it's like, right? So I guess you're a prince on the queen. Like
Yeah. I feel
we,
that.
we got some royalty going on here. I
Mhm.
figured we had to have like some purple, some gold action going on here with my layout. I had to wear some purple. I got some gold in my eyes.
I'm with
gold,
that.
You know, like,
I'm with
you know.
that. Yeah.
I like it. Guys, if you're new here to the Under the Rope series here, I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, backstage, I got you covered. If you guys got questions for Darian, feel free, drop it into the chat. Also, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. I would really appreciate all of that. So we're gonna dive right in here, you know. So let's start off with this. I like how you like to start off with this. Like, obviously, I know you. I've been following you for a while now and stuff. But for a fan that's like never seen you wrestle before, but tuning into this podcast, what would be a match that you would recommend to them to watch to become an instant fan?
Instant fan. Well, a lot of people know me from my match with Robbie Eagles at Ring of Honor. If you wanted something kind of short, similar, I would maybe say me versus Alexander Lev at Action in Tyrone, Georgia. That's up on YouTube, and it's just a nice little like 5-minute sample of who I am, right? So yeah, I think that's what I would go with.
There you go. So give us a little bit of a background, like, you know, like how you got into wrestling, a little bit about your training, you know, just a little bit of background.
Yeah, so I was born in Waterloo, Iowa, which is the birthplace of the NWA. It's also just like a huge place for like amateur wrestling as well. And my dad, everyone in my family really all grew up wrestlers, except for me. And part of that was I was a military kid, bounced around a lot. And my parents didn't think that wrestling was like appropriate for kids, so I wasn't watching it like as a young kid, right? And little things here and there would trickle in. And I was living in London in this was 2019. I had just finished my master's degree from the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, and had met with my agents, and they were just like, "Hey, we'd like for you to do some sports modeling. Like, is there any sports you're interested in?" And a friend of mine was working lights and sound for Lucha Britannia in London, and that was a part of the school, the London School of Lucha Libre. And they were like, "Oh, you should come out sometime." So I had just like kind of thrown it out, almost like as a joke to my agents and everything, and they were like, "No, go, 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 go." So I went, and first night was hooked, and I started training in England. I got 5 months in there before the world ended and the pandemic hit. And I find myself washed up in the southeast of the United States, where I'm not from either, and kind of restart building here as kind of like, half a British camp wrestler and half an old school Southern wrestler in a new package, which has been, very, very cool journey that I never thought I was going to be on.
Well, here we are, and we get to enjoy you and everything. So I love that. I love that so much. So, oh man. A lot of promotions we could talk about. Obviously, I'm going to start with Action because I feel like that's like where I kind of like started seeing you and everything like that. But, tell us, we always shout out to like Matt Griffin. We love Matt Griffin pretty much. So give us like one of your favorite moments working at Action.
Ooh. I think my favorite moment is easily the formation of the Lemon Pepper Princes. Adam Priest, my tag partner, is one of my absolute best, closest friends. And it was one of those things where people started seeing us hang out a lot, but to see the actual team form and not even necessarily the first match. I mean, the first match was great and it was everything coming to fruition, but it was more just putting out the idea to everyone of like, no, this is a real thing. We really are a tag team, like because I mean we're a lot more similar than I think a lot of people realize. We're the same exact age, which everyone thinks Adam's like 75 years old, but so I kind of bring out the youth in him a little bit more because we're like I actually might be like 2 weeks older than Adam, but we're that close in age. So my favorite moment would probably be the formation of Lemon Pepper Princes. I love that.
But isn't he like younger because of the fact that he's a leap year birthday?
I didn't know if that was out there like that, but he.
Damn! Did I just like blow him up? I'm sorry.
I won't get too much into the details of it, but I found out because we were out somewhere, and I think he ordered a drink for me or something, and they ID checked us, and then
So
it came out.
technically,
Like, hold on
you're
a
not
second.
old enough. Technically.
True. I'm his legal guardian, I think, is what people assume now.
I'm sorry. Everybody knows, like, I'm a big Adam Priest fan. Everybody knows that. Like, Adam's been on this podcast. I love Adam.
Yeah, he's the best wrestler in the country.
Yeah.
Hands down.
So I always say, like, book him more up here because it's like, more. Like, I want more of the people down south to come up. So I want to see collision of different wrestling that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it seems to happen every direction except for ours. So, yeah, we'd love it too.
I will sit here and I will vouch for the South guys and everything like that. And I like doing these interviews and stuff like that because it does bring light to a lot of people that live in my area and stuff like that. So, and I watch a lot of the stuff down south, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I'm still not familiar with that I try to familiarize myself with. But there's a lot. There's a lot that can happen. Like the wrestlers up here, the wrestlers down there. Like, come on, guys, what are you doing?
I know it's so funny because that's the beauty of wrestling, right? Is like the way that all the roads end up connecting us because, like, I'm really close with Ryan Clancy, and to the point where Ryan Clancy, like, I'm the champion of Grab House Las Vegas, and we just had Ryan Clancy debut on the show. And, that was largely built off of the personal connection that we had. So it's, the more you get to travel and kind of find your people wherever in the world they exist, you kind of cultivate this, like, small brainchild community, which I really appreciate and like about it.
Yeah. Shout out to Ryan Clancy. He's doing some big things too, like,
Hmm.
Japan, everything. So
Hmm.
much love to Ryan. He's a big book nerd. Are you part of the little clique that they said that they were gonna have a little like book, like that they were doing a lot of reading at Wrestling Open and trading books and talking about books. Are you part of this club?
I wasn't, but I could be. I could be. Like uh, it's one of those like, oh, of course we get along then, huh? Like the more I find out about you, the more similar we are as people. But yeah, I'm down for the book club. I'm a book. I have a Shakespeare degree. I might as well,
Ooh, I like
Well,
that. So shout out to my friend Dominic because he's usually in this chat or he leaves me like a message and he tells me to ask the wrestler on this podcast like, what is your favorite book? So let's go with that.
Ooh, okay, book. I thought you were gonna ask me like my favorite Shakespeare. I was like, oh no. My favorite book. That's hard. Anything, fiction, nonfiction, anything. It's all
Anything
good.
you watch, just put it out there. See, got to join the book club. You got to throw out a freaking book.
Yeah, I just don't want to throw out a bad one. If I only get one choice, this is big for me. This is big.
Listen, these are the big questions on this podcast that we need to ask.
Oh man. Oh man. Um, I would maybe say The House of the Spirits, by Isabel Allende.
Mhm.
I'm really into that, like Latin American, like magic realism. It has tons of like real life political and world implications, and I'm being a total nerd already. I felt it come over me as I was
Why?
starting to talk about it.
Why?
I'm talking about magic realism, like where are the body slams? Where are the headlocks? Nobody wants to hear that, nerd.
You'd be surprised because there's a couple of fan questions which we will get to that is a big hit on this podcast. So we like to go a little bit all over the place, but why not? I know Landon Hale had talked about books. He's recommended books to me, and like he's talked about like even with Clancy, like the self-help books, and I have books in my wish list that I need to read because it was recommended. So
Dylan Hales gave me a book like 9 months ago that I still need to read. I'm slacking on that one, but yeah,
maybe
I love
him
this.
with it. Like
I don't know what that man's deal is right now, so I don't know, I'm leaving him alone. Him and Tim Bosby are not on my call list right now. We're not talking.
I love that. So I don't know, Dylan. The shock you gave us all, pretty much. If you're not watching action wrestling, get on it. Start watching it. Pretty much. So also we have. I like to call it SCI season. It's coming up, and you were part of this before, so talk to us how like special this tournament is. I know like we've talked with Matt Griffin's been on this podcast. He's talked about the SCI. So talk to us about like how it makes you feel and you being part of it and everything.
The SCI is it's a huge deal. I mean, like we were talking about, Southern representation in wrestling is very poor, and which is a shame because anywhere you go, any nerd-ass wrestling historian wants to talk about how great Memphis wrestling was and old school wrestling is, but no one seems to have any love in their heart for it right now, which is crazy to me, especially considering the greatest wrestler in the country, Adam Priest, is a Southern-style wrestler, but I digress. And that's what the first Southeast first show was about, right, was proving a point. I think the title reign of AC Mack, who I'm a massive fan of, was very much our, outcast, the South has something to say type thing. And what the SCI is that it's an amazing opportunity for Southern wrestlers, because the thing is, like you were saying, there's so many different promotions and things like that. But ultimately, I think more what it is we have like a massive influx of wrestlers without necessarily the place to see it, right? I mean, Action can only be so many matches long.
Right.
TWE can only be so many matches long. And what SCI does is it creates an opportunity for all of the hardworking Southern wrestlers to be able to get in there and not only show off what they have, but also being able to mix it up with talent from other parts of the country, which they may not have the option to otherwise, right? It's a really amazing opportunity for people to break into a new market as well if they're not from the South. My kind of like predecessor spiritually in the area is Daniel Makabe, and he was a former winner of the SCI. And SCI, specifically, if people don't know, is the Scenic City Invitational. The Scenic City being Chattanooga. And I'll just drop here. I was the longest reigning ever TWE Chattanooga undisputed champion. I'm
Yeah,
just putting it right there.
love that.
So we're talking about the scenic city, my city, and I was a finalist my very first year, and not just a finalist, but I was in the scramble for an opportunity to be in the next year's. Won the scramble. We had a double elimination with Suge and Jaden that year. So I went from the scramble, replacing them in the tournament, going all the way to the finals in the tournament, where my best friend Adam Priest may have low blowed me and rolled me up. But the next year, come back, semifinalist Matt Mikowski, and I haven't been able to take the tournament yet. I don't know if I'm in the tournament this year or not, but I know there are really exciting names. I know we have Vinny Massaro this year. We have Danny Briggs. Yeah, this year we have
Gary J's in it.
Gary J. Maybe I don't want to be in the tournament this year. Hold on.
You don't want to take the chops, the hardest chops?
I recently switched from a singlet to no singlet, so I think this is the worst possible time for me to be wrestling Gary J.
Maybe bring it back.
Yeah, for the one night only with Gary J. Protection, that's what I need. But yeah, I love Gary, which is very cool considering Anakin Murphy has really made like Chattanooga a spot of his, and so to see Gary commit to it is very, very cool. But yeah, SCI is just like the biggest, realist kind of tournament style thing that we have in our entire territory, and it's a massive deal every year.
It's so cool, and it's cool to see even like this year, like we're getting the announcement. Danny DeMonto's in it, and Danny DeMonto wanted to be part of this a long time. Bojack put a whole post out also too that he's getting like this means a lot to him. And then I also love the future showcase that they have also too before the SCI, which is great because it gives the opportunity for people that really don't get seen if nobody's familiar with this. So I love this, and people who do follow me, like Ryan Clancy's been in it, so Channing Thomas has been in it and stuff like that. Like there's been a lot of people that from up here that have gone down there. I've also discovered a lot of wrestlers because of the future showcase and everything like that, which is great. So it's just like another platform. My goal is to go down to an SCI. I'm gonna try for next year. That's what I want to try to do with my friend Zach. So that's my plan. But yeah, like I actually watched. I had to rewatch it the other day. You and Matt Mikowski. Like I love Matt Mikowski, or who is it? Matt Macau.
Mako, he's the shark.
Mako.
Yeah.
So
that's my guy.
Shout out to him. Like he's like one of my favorites also. Like,
and that was a first time ever match. Like I don't think anyone ever thought about that match happening before, and 10 toes down, that was the best match of the weekend for me. I was in the match, but I thought that match was like maybe stole the whole weekend. So
yeah.
But you never know. Like that's the kind of thing. Who would have thought about like Rico Gonzalez and Paul London? It's such an amazing opportunity to get those kind of weird matchups.
Yeah, definitely. So tune into that. That's in July. Check that out. IWTV if you're not watching. Like I'm always here helping to push all the good stuff that's coming on with there. We definitely got to talk about TWA. You did bring it up. You were a champion and everything like that. So currently Aaron Wade is now the champion.
Yeah. So
we have to talk about that because, these pictures and stuff that he's posting.
Look, everyone has been like, how do you feel that every day you wake up, get on the internet, and have to see Aaron Wade's balls or ass all over the title that Derek Neal used to carry? It's such a dumbass, man. I don't
want it now. Gotta dunk that in some alcohol, or you need some Purell.
My first act when I win the championship again, it's just new belt. I think we gotta just start over.
Well, now we got a spinner belt over at Action now, right?
No. I've had a spinner belt at Action for the past year. Tim Bosby, I've worn the Grab House World Champion, which is a spinner belt, on Action Wrestling for 6 months. And we were just... Now there's two, I guess. They can forget about the spinner belt. Dylan Hales forgot about me. We're all about Tim Bosby in this action spinner belt. Look, man, I get John Cena's retiring and he's your favy, but what are we doing? What are we doing?
Dylan, we have so many questions. I feel like Dylan needs to come on this podcast. We have so many questions that we need to ask.
I would love that. I don't know if that would be a good for you or not. He's just such a monster, you know?
Like, what happened? Like, we met in person a couple of years ago at Wrestleville. And what happened?
He's a bitter man. And like, I get it, right? He's tired of having to be the adult in every room. But, you know, I think you can either find a way to, like, move through that in a noble, respectful way, or you can be what he's being. You know, I don't even know what to say. Dylan wearing pants is evil. I missed him when he wore shorts every day, even if it was cold out.
It's weird. It's weird. Zach's in the chat. He's screaming SCI, SCI, SCI. Me and Zach are planning. We're trying next year. We're going to SCI. So, like, you have to be part of next year's because, you know.
I mean, as long as the SCI is taking place in the beautiful TWE Arena on Dayton Boulevard in Red Bank, Tennessee, I will be there.
There you go. Okay, we got to talk about this.
Okay.
Donovan Dijak making waves back in the independent scene, which is crazy. And it's nice, you know, he's, you know, helping training at the Nepwa school, you know, with the up and coming kids and everything like that. And you got a shot at working
Sure
with him.
did.
That's crazy, which is like so cool. Like, did you think in your brain like this would ever happen for you?
No. And like, it's so much weirder than that. Like, so we've talked before this about I suffered a blood clot in the ring back in December, and I almost died and was out of action for forever, and it wasn't looking like, you know, if I was going to live, let her know, you know, wrestle again. And it was like I got cleared on a Tuesday and asked to do the match on a Thursday.
Oh, wow.
And then the
That's
match was like the next week.
Oh, my.
I had no time to get back in the ring. I had no time. But what was I going to do? Say no, you know?
Yeah.
So that match was after like 5 months. And that's not an excuse because I lost. I'm just saying the facts. Is that I was very ring rusty. And it was crazy. It was crazy to see, you know, and I started training in 2019, which is, I think, when he would have debuted for NXT. So it's like I watched the run, you know, and to be there in those steps and in that ring with him, and to see him as a peer and not necessarily as like, obviously like as my vet and someone I respect, but someone who didn't look at me as like an idiot rookie and was seeing me, you know, as their work peer was very, very. It felt like an accomplishment in of itself, you know, especially after being gone for so long and not knowing if, you know, I had the sauce still. It was like, okay, cool. But yeah, great experience. Crazy wrestler. He's so big. He's so like TV doesn't do justice.
Yeah.
He's so big. Like, I don't think people understand. Yeah. I just felt like I was in the air for 30 seconds every time. It was hell. I want to wrestle him again, but I don't want to wrestle him again.
Right. Well, that's the great thing about the indies, right? It's just like you just don't know what can happen. Yeah. Someone could be let go. They come back to the indies, you know, like I can appreciate that for you guys because then it's like, okay, look, here's this guy. He's trained, you know, Performance Center, NXT, WWE, did their thing. Now it's like, okay, now he's passing on the holy grail, right, to like you guys. And it's like, you know, dreams come true, right? Like that you would never think they're like, okay, like that's not going to happen one day. And then you have these opportunities like that to have.
Absolutely. And high key, I needed it because like right before last year, I was supposed to have Alex Shelley's like one of his last singles matches before he went to WWE.
Right.
And his flight got canceled. It was when all that weird Delta stuff was happening. And it was like the only flight had ever been canceled on him in his 26-year career.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea was like, this was the passing of the torch. This was
Right.
the dreams come true. You know, that, like I said, I had small pieces that I was able to see when I was a kid, and he was one of those small pieces.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, and so to have Dijak, because the thing, and I talk about it all the time, is like our kind of this COVID baby generation of wrestlers, we didn't have any vets. You
Right.
know, we didn't have, like, I'm seen in most locker rooms I'm in as the vet, and I'm only 5 years in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that isn't how wrestling has ever been before us.
Yeah.
It has never been that vet vacant, and to have people like him around, and especially people as generous as him in terms of the knowledge he wants to pass on, is, yeah, a mad blessing. And I'm very appreciative of him and what I was able to take from that experience.
Yeah. I always like applaud that stuff when you hear that and you hear the stories, and you know, like up here, like you see like Donovan like a lot, like, and I go up to Massachusetts and just to see like the matches, like Aaron Rourke and him, and you know, Milo Mera, like it's just it's wild, you know. And I love that he is helping, you know, like actually him and CPA, it was like one of those matches that it was like, holy shit, it was like, this is so freaking good, like how is this so good? Like,
Yeah.
you know. So you know, but I love that for you, and I felt like that was like a very important thing that we had to talk about, like you know, on this podcast. So if you guys haven't watched that match, go watch that match, you know, really 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 good. So let's see what else we're gonna talk about. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about like AW Dark again, like you said, like Ring of Honor. You know, we have to talk about, like, you know, again, you brought up you know, so we had Ricky Starks, Warlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, or just like a few names that like you got to be part of it. And it's like you even said, like COVID, you know, those times I was bringing the independent scene in, and it was like, it's cool to like sit on the couch and then watch people that you follow and like to see these opportunities, like, okay, like, you know, you're getting these spots and everything,
Yeah.
like that. So talk to us about that.
Again, total whirlwind. Don't know what's going on. Like, I had only been training for like 5 months when COVID hit. So Powerhouse Hobbs, which I think was my AW Dark debut, was like my 5th match ever, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and like people, when I say that, people are like, "Oh, okay, congratulations." And it's like, although it's very cool, and I'm so appreciative of it. Knowing what I know now, it's like, wow, that's crazy. You know, just in that, like, that kind of pressure I wouldn't have put on someone who was that new, you know. And it's, and not that it was anyone's fault. I was 100% like doing what I was doing. It was actually being helped and set up for a lot. But it was so cool, again, to be on a peer level. Like, obviously it's not exactly the same, but almost every name on there that you just said is someone that I have some form of relationship with.
Right.
I can, you know, message most of those people and get a response. And it's to know that that's where, you know, like I said, it's just really affirming for me, because especially with something like wrestling, where it's like, where is your value actually placed? Is it in the way that, you know, is it your followers? Is it your bookings? Is it, you know, any of these things? For me, the actual craft of it is what I really care about. Like, I am very proud of the craft of what I do, and to be respected on a level by my fellow craftsmen is like always going to be the highest honor for me. And so to know not only that I was there with them in these places as they were growing, but the fact that they still see me that way is like, okay, we're on the right track. You know, I didn't let that go to my head and then get worse or something. You know what I mean? It's, which happens, right? Like, because some people would have been like, oh, well, I made it here, so surely that must mean I'm good, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's very, again, crazy, but I wouldn't do it any other way. I'm very, like, happy with where we are now.
It's so cool. But we have to ask, because like I know there's wrestlers that have been on this podcast and they started talking about the catering. You have to talk to us about it. Like, you know, maybe there's something. I know BRG and Trayvon Jordan were talking about, you know, the cinnamon toast crunch bars or whatever. Like,
I mean, like, I don't know how catering started. I mean, I just remember, like, because I was talking with someone the other day about, like, back then everyone was Bang crazy, like the energy drink.
yeah.
And I remember just, like, people drinking, like, heart attack levels of Bang, because it was just always around. And when we were in Jacksonville, it was just everywhere. Like, other than catering, like, uh, so me and Anthony Agogo were friends in England, and we moved to America together. Actually, moved to Atlanta together. And I remember, so him being in the actual company and me not. I remember going into catering one day, and there was a whole table gather around, like talking about a really embarrassing story that I had told him in confidence, and was just getting aired out by everyone. And I just showed up, and they all had like questions for me to answer, and I was just like, "Oh, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to me." So yeah, catering is traumatic for me. I try to avoid it. It gives me a little like butterfly feeling every time I go now.
I'm dead. That's great. Oh man. All right. So we're gonna go with Conrad's tweet after this. So shout out to Everything Pro Wrestling. I know he'll be live after AEW tonight, so make sure you check him out. So his question, because he likes to get wrestlers to yell at me on this podcast, but this is the infamous question on Queen of Indies Corner. First is what is your favorite cereal? And then when eating cereal with milk, do you pour the cereal in first and then the milk, or the milk and then the cereal?
Always cereal first. Always cereal first. Always cereal first. Always cereal first. Favorite cereal, my heart of hearts wants to say that it's Oreo O's. But I think part of that was the thing of like being a little kid, and that was the one my parents wouldn't let me have. So I was like, it's a forbidden fruit thing. It's definitely not the one I like eat the most. You know what I'm saying? But that's, my heart wants to say Oreo O's, man. My heart wants to say Oreo O's.
There you go. See, and he's normal. Cereal first, milk,
Yeah.
We had a couple of wrestlers come on here, and they said milk first and then cereal.
Yeah, we get hit in the head for a living.
That's the best.
Of course. You know how many wrestlers I've caught trying to turn on TVs with their remote backwards? What do you think is going on here? We're turning ourselves into zombies on this side. Come on.
Pretty much. Oh, man. All right, let's do another fan tweet. This one's from Good Cop, Bad Cop. He said, with Darian Bengston being an anagram of abandoning rest, what's the longest you have gone without sleep, and what's the most tired you've been as a wrestler? Ooh.
Longest trip I did in a car for wrestling was 36 hours.
Oh my!
And I didn't stop. Yeah, I think there was like me and partner switch. Whoever it was, Adam or Dylan McQueen or something. I think it was Dylan McQueen. I think me and Dylan McQueen did 36 hours straight in the car.
Wow.
No sleep. And wrestled 3 times over that 36 hours.
Wow.
Horrendous. Horrendous. Would never do it again. I think I've like nodded off like doing my rounds, like shaking hands with people before. I've been like that tired. I think that's the worst. 36 hours for like wrestling. Yeah.
Oof. That's crazy. I feel like a lot of people don't give you guys like enough credit, because it's like I've been on phone with wrestlers while they're driving, trying to kill time, especially if they're like alone. Landon Hale's one of them that I've been on the phone with him for like hours while he's driving from one state to the other and stuff. But it's rough. Like even me, like I'll drive from New York to Massachusetts, and sometimes it could be 4 or 5 hours, and it's like, whew, like why am I doing this again?
I'm gonna put this out there, and I hope someone hears this and it helps them. Right? I have friends who are wrestlers who will call me at like 3 in the morning or call me at like 9 in the morning. And both times I'm like, what is your problem? But then I think, and I know every single time what it is they're on the road and they're scared about falling asleep and crashing, which is a very real, serious thing that happens, all the time with us. Yeah. And so I've started to get to the place where I don't even get angry. I'm like, I would, of course, much rather my friend call me to stay awake. Yeah. So other wrestlers, if your friends are calling you at really ludicrous times, they are either a jerk or they're really worried about driving and don't want to admit it. And
be a good friend.
Understand that maybe they're not just being annoying, and maybe there's actually a reason.
Yeah. So I like that, to put that out there. I don't think we've ever really talked about that on this podcast pretty much. So I'm glad you said it, and we need to clip it and we need to post it. So we're gonna make sure I timestamp this so I can clip it. So and we're gonna post it out there. So Be a
Yeah,
good
then I'm gonna
friend.
D&M to every friend I was talking about
Yeah.
without saying their name politely. Be like, I know.
Like, you were talking about me. No, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
talking about you. Stop hitting my line at 4 a.m.
you're gonna get a call tonight, like 3 a.m. from
Yes, I am. Yes, I know exactly from who.
I'm dead. I'm dead. All right. We have another fan tweet from David. He goes, "What did you learn and now use in your matches that had the biggest impact?" And he said the Young Lions Cup after coming off AEW was a back-to-back great match. People seek it out.
Thank you. Young Lions Cup is really cool. I didn't have myself figured out yet, but that was my first time on the West Coast, and was where I actually ended up like meeting a lot of my like career rivals and friends. Brooke Havoc, Nick Xander, Trevor Outlaw, Juicy Fanoa. Like that was a very pivotal kind of thing for me. Without that happening, maybe I never get to Grap House and be Grap House champion and stuff like that. But thank you. The thing that I've learned the most, or the thing that I guess has been most impactful, I guess would have to say, for anyone who doesn't know, I had a series of matches with Daniel Makabe. And basically, in a weird way, it was kind of, I inherited, I don't want to say his spot, but like, he was kind of this like technical wizard from Canada, but had come and made his name in the Southeast. And not necessarily being close to one another beforehand, ended up developing this really crazy relationship where we also have like the same exact wrestling anniversary, but 20 years apart to the day.
That's
exactly. Yeah, there's so many different like kind of laps and things like that. And wrestling him before he retired, it was this thing of like inheritance of like, when you're gone, can I continue your work and keep your traditions alive? And so since I was the last person ever to beat him and the only person to ever escape his finish, taking them on now, I've won so many matches with the Makabe Lock Pie. And I've won the Grab House World Title with the Makabe Lock Pie. So Dana Makabe's teachings have easily, not even close, been the most impactful thing to my matches in terms of winning and losing. It's all the difference has been him. The attitude change, everything has been his influence.
I love that. So shout out to him. And that's
Yeah.
crazy. 20 years. Talk about like pass of the torch.
Oh, yeah, like it's so crazy to the point now where it's like I'm wrestling all of his rivals. Well, so next action show, Spin, is me versus Eric Royal, first time ever. And Eric and Dan had a few series of matches. WrestleMania week, I wrestled Nicole Matthews, who's like the most talented wrestler ever, and longtime rival. She was his third to last match ever. I was his second.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like now it's like I'm getting to almost like go on this kind of like pathway after him, which has been very, very cool and something unique that I don't think other people on the independents get to experience. And it's a very cool thing for me that I really enjoy.
I love that. I'm trying so hard to come down to this action show. Action's been on it is the number one bucket list for me for this year. I mean, like I had said that like every year, like I wanted to go to different promotions, like whatever, something new that I haven't. And I got to go to DPW this year. But Action has been number one on my bucket list. I was supposed to do something last year, then my world got crazy last year. So I'm trying so hard. I literally, like, before this podcast, I was talking to my friend, and she was like, I want to try to come down with you. And, like, I have one of my other friends. So I'm trying so hard to get down there with my friends. And I was like, there's 2 matches. And I was, like, already announced. And I was like, I need to go to the show. I was like...
Right. Wait, so you said you went to a Deadlock show?
Yeah. I went January.
So I heard that their world champion is the greatest wrestler in the country. Who is their world champion? Is that Adam Priest? I think that's Adam Priest. I think the greatest wresler in the country.
His ear has to be ringing. Like I feel like, okay, you know what? Like we're gonna tag him because, like, like maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe he'll bless us with his presence. in the chat or whatever like that. But it's like,
Maybe.
if your ear is ringing, this is exactly why. Or whatever. But yeah, I went because I had to see him because he never gets booked up here, and it just like pisses me off. So this is why it's like I bring in like all these guys from the South on this podcast because the guys up here, like, listen, promotions, books these guys. They're really good. It's like I want to see them in person, you know, because I can't always go down south.
As a singles or a tag.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah.
We're putting it out there. BST Wrestling, like Fight Life. Let's go. Like.
Hey, we're here. We are Lemon Pepper Princes are hot singles in your area. We can do whatever you want.
Do you want some spinner belts too?
Hey, we got them. I've had them since before they were a trend.
I'm done.
Ah.
I'm done. But yeah.
Me and Adam Priest versus Dylan Hales and Tim Bosby. Let's make it happen.
Oh my God, Matt! Like,
I'm gonna stomp both of them out.
Give me. It was funny because I actually said in my 2024 year-end wrap-up that Tim Bosby is the one to look out for this year. As I knew a lot of my listeners are not familiar. Maybe they don't watch Action. Maybe they do watch Action. But there's a lot of people, even like Zach, like he wasn't familiar. And I was like, Tim is going to be the one that everybody should be watching this year because I knew his name was going to get out there more this year. So, yes. I need this tag.
Hey, Tim is a little freak. He's strong as hell. He's tall. Dirtbag like crazy. He has Dylan Hales, which is like probably the best weapon you could have in wrestling. I mean, Dylan is so unbelievably wicked smart. And part of the reason I don't like his ass is because he said that me and Adam wouldn't have gotten anywhere without him.
Damn.
And, you know, I guess there's grains of truth to that because definitely like setting me on the path of like finding myself in who I was as a wrestler was definitely totally in part by Dylan, but does not change that I don't like him.
I feel like we need a pie. I mean, me and Spike were talking about pies on the podcast, and it's like I feel like we need a pie, or just like smash him in the face, like, or we're like Matt should smash him in the face with a pie. I feel like this could work.
He's got a root beer tattoo. He don't wear pants unless he's at work. I don't. Whatever.
And the backpack. And the backpack. So.
We used to love that guy. Not
We used
anymore.
to. Like,
We used to.
I don't know. So, you know, if you see him.
That backpack, I swear, we have bricks in it too. I don't know what his deal is.
Damn. All right, we gotta pie him. It's just how it is, or whatever. So. All right. Do you have any pre-match rituals that you have?
Oh man. I think it depends on the venue, right? So Naptown All Pro. Shout out Naptown All Pro. We lost our friend Trey at We Love Wrestling, and there's not a Naptown show that I'm on that he's not like the most ever present thought for me. Just singing like and with TWE it's similar with like Spo, just in that like and with Nap as well. I mean, Spo ref first ever main event in Naptown history, and it's being around that energy of especially people who really wanted to see you succeed and not being able to be around for that or whatever form of that comes is really hard. And so I would say like at those places there's definitely just a moment that I have to myself, just remembering like there was someone who wanted to see you exactly where you are right now, and you know, and you know, that's very hard. And with wrestling you meet so many people and you lose so many people, and it's just kind of like part of the job, right? So especially like in these past like couple of years, just like with We Love Wrestling, with Nick Bushi, with Spo, like and it's always like the best ones, like the sweetest, most supportive people. And so yeah.
Spo was like super nice and everything. But I love that, you know, everybody like honors a lot of these people and stuff like that. Like you always see like, you know, the white wrist tape and then SBO on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes too much. Sometimes I'll be like, did y'all even know him?
Oh god.
Sometimes I'm like, how are we all friends with this person? I don't know who you are.
Yes.
I've never heard of you.
I know.
I'm not gatekeeping our dead friend's friendship, but like, you know,
Oh man.
I'm like, I know White Boy Sean. I listen to Panties. I pulled it up on YouTube. I was watching his karaoke. Come on.
Yes. Oh, the karaoke. Yes. Yes. Oh, it's so sad. Like, yeah, I remember when I finally got to meet him in person. He came to like an ICW. I came to one of the ICW shows or whatever. Like, he's so sweet. Like, I was like, we took a photo. So it's like, take the photos, right? That's like the big thing on social media. Take the photo. Take the photo. Take the photo. So
Absolutely. In like, and not to, you know, oh yeah, I don't mind if we linger on it. Shout out Sean, but like, things changed. Like, whether I mean, people know, like, things changed, especially after Sean left. Like when we lost Sean, the take the picture thing became a thing. People are way more supportive now. People focus more on being good friends now.
yeah.
Because that's the kind of person Sean was, and like really genuinely changed the culture of this when we lost him, and that speaks magnitudes to the type of person he was. And you know, and I love Sean, and Sean is my friend, and like there are tons of wrestlers that were way closer and had way more personal relationships with him, and that's what I'm saying. It speaks magnitude that much to how good of a dude he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out Sean, shout out Trey,
Sean.
shout out Nikki. But yeah. So that's a big thing for me. I think a lot about my friends that aren't here with me anymore.
Definitely love that. Good cop, bad cops in the chat. Thank you for coming on in. He's a little behind, but he said with being behind, you may have already talked about it, but then realized that Darian is facing Eric Royal at Action next month. He was the main event at my first ever indie show, so he's a favorite of mine. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right, so let's.
I love Eric.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, the match with Eric Royal is very cool, and like to be completely upfront about it. And this is inside scoop. I asked for this. I asked for this match. I've been watching Eric Royal since I got to the South, and I've always thought he's amazing. He's a former Action World Champion, and I fully intend on being the next one. And so, what better way to start that up? I went after Manders on the last one. I'm on Eric now. I mean, that's what I'm on, and I want to prove it, and I want to do it with the best. And Eric is one of the best to me. So underrated. More people should watch Eric Roy.
Yes. So, you brought up Manders. We should talk about that because I feel like you've wrestled Manders like all over the place, and then you got the WXW like shot recently too, which was really cool at the last Action show. So pretty cool. So I was live tweeting from the couch.
I'm so lariated out. I've got hit with so many lariats. My body hurts. I was walking around today funny, like, oh, that's Manders, you know.
I hear stories about like that wrestlers are still feeling certain effects from like one particular move like months later. Like I hear from one of my friends, he's like, oh my god, that jump kick from this or whatever from this I'm like, oh my god. Like
oh, that's real. Pop up back elbow Calvin Tankman.
Oh.
It wakes me up out of my sleep some nights. It's that kind of stuff happens all the time. And yeah, Manders, for fellow Iowa boy, he's just been having a stellar year, and is about the grind and is about the hustle, and I'm very proud of him. And we're 1-1 singles now.
Yeah.
So
we need another one.
Wrestle him a million more times. Yeah, I'd do it a million more times.
We need another one. We need the breaker. We need the tiebreaker over here.
We do. My wrist was sprained. Now I'm making excuses for being injured. Now I'm making excuses for being injured.
All right, so I like to ask this because it kind of like puts out like and puts over like other wrestlers and stuff like that. So, in your opinion, who are some wrestlers that the fans should know or get behind? That you would recommend?
Anywhere,
wherever in the indie scene.
The most prestigious wrestler on the independents. It's not even close. It pisses me off the way that people play with her name. Nina Samuels is the one. She has a title in every country. She's like, she not a biased thing, but she was one of my original trainers for those first 5 months when I was in England. But it's just doing everything everywhere with everybody. Like I said, titles in every country, multiple continents, defended the Progress belt in Las Vegas, was in NXT UK. She's just someone that I look at and I just don't understand, why is she not the person that's flown in on every single show? Because she's dope. She's so good. Nicole Matthews, another person, mad underrated. If I had like two people that I think people should keep their eyes on, like upcoming.
Mhm.
Hate his guts, hate his guts, hate his guts. Casey Owens
Mhm.
from TWE. Hate his guts. Terrible. If he gets away from Rat Bastard Shug D, maybe has bright future. I don't know. Dirtbag though. The other one is the Golden Boy Miles Kamen, also from the UK. Miles is the most freak talented weirdo. Like Adam Priest is the best wrestler in the country because he is a wrestler instinctually. In his brain, he is a wrestler. Like he just is. And Miles Kamen is that, but in a different way.
Mhm.
Just the brain, every synapse that fires off is just this. Whatever it is that we do, that we craft, that we consume. And Miles has everything: the look, the in ring. He can talk. Like he's unbelievable. If he's not next up, Boots, I'm burning him. I'm done. Because if a kid like that has nothing, then I don't have anything. You know. But yeah, those are my two, Casey and Miles.
There you go. So like to pass it forward over here on the podcast. So, all right. So, what are some things you like to do when you're not in the squared circle?
When I'm not in the squared circle, I love plays, movies, television. I'm an actor, like I said. I have a master's degree in classical acting. Um, I love art. I love anything that we can do that connects us and kind of builds upon our experiences with each other. So yeah, movies, love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. And even more lately, I'm all about it.
I just finished You today. Like shit was crazy that show.
So I said I was going to air names out. Shug D has called me at like 9 a.m. to talk about You, which I haven't watched. And he'll answer. He'll be like, "Man, can you believe they did this, this, and this?" And I'll be like, "I don't like you. I don't like you. Stop calling my phone. What are you doing? I hope Casey leaves you and becomes a good wrestler. I don't know what the deal is." But he seemed very enthusiastic about that You finale.
Yeah. It was. I had like a long conversation with my friend before about that show because she was like waiting for me to finish it, and I finished it today, and then we just went on a an argument kind of thing. Like
yeah.
we weren't agreeing. It was. So there you go. There you go. All right, so I have two final questions for you. If anybody has anything, please feel free to drop it into the chat. So, what are some goals for 2025 for you?
Goals for 2025. Number one, my first ever tag title with Adam Priest as part of the Lemon Pepper Princes. I've had a really, really amazing time exploring as a singles wrestler, and I love it. And I'm still a singles wrestler. Adam is still a singles wrestler. However, we love the craft of what we do, and we want to be as well-rounded as possible. And he's the best wrestler in the country. I don't think I'm far behind him, and we want to test our mettle against everybody else who feels the same way. You know, the Sinners and Saints, the Manders and Shire, like the infantry, like I really am looking forward to that challenge and the way that we can grow and develop in that way. Aside from that, taking what I think is mine around here, which is the TWE Championship, the Action Championship, and the SCI.
Ooh.
All those belong to me. They belong to me for over a year now. There's no one in this scene that can touch me whose name isn't Adam Priest. And so I'm just being honest and consistent.
Did he pay you to like put him over on this podcast?
No, he didn't pay me. He did not pay me.
He was like, "It's okay, Tiffany likes me, so it just push my name."
What? No. It's so this is the thing. This is the thing. I think one day, and it isn't a payment because, like, in my own pride as myself, as my own performer, right?
Yeah.
I still have enough awareness to recognize that I don't have certain things that he has. It doesn't mean that I can't be the best wrestler in the country one day, but right now, it's him. And that, it doesn't mean I can't. I've beat him before, but he's also beat me, so but in terms of like I said, the craft and what we do, it's that guy right there.
Yeah, definitely.
And since he's got his own things to worry about for a little bit, unless I have to take the title, actually, you give me a whole problem because when he beats Tim Bosby next month,
Yes.
and I have to wrestle him, that's going to be a problem. We've been there before. We'll figure it out. I'll hug him after. It'll be cool.
Or
It'll
maybe
be cool.
like we should just insert you. We have like a 3-way match. Like, I'm booking things, Matt. I'm booking.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm booking things.
That way, I'll make sure Tim Bosby's losing. Oh, best believe. Best believe. Best believe.
It's only fair because Dylan's in his side. So why can't it be like, you know, a 3-way?
That's how I feel. If, Dylan,
I'm here for this.
if he wants Dylan that bad, make it 4. Throw Dylan in. I don't care. I hope I'm in there and I get to put hands on him.
He's just gonna lay down and like, you know, have Tim like pin him. That's just.
Crap, I hate those guys.
I can't. Too funny. All
What
right.
happened to my parents, man?
So we got some big goals for 2025. You know, we're putting it out there into the universe. You know.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
All right. So like, my final question. I love this is Queen of the Indies thing pretty much here. Wrestling with positivity, dear to my heart. Everybody knows that about me. Is there anything that you can think of? You know, whether it's like you've done for a fan, maybe a fan's done for you, maybe something you've done for a wrestler, maybe something a wrestler's done for you, something that we wouldn't know unless you share with us.
Ooh. I have so many of these.
I'm sure
that's so real.
It's just so good, these stories that like I get from you guys, and you know I try to put it out there more because I feel like these things need to be put out there because it's just the world of like negativity, right, in wrestling and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But we need to focus on the positive parts, and there's so many amazing moments that I've witnessed myself in person. And again, the Wrestling with Positivity is very big on the Queen of the Indies corner and everything like that. So, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's so many. Okay, I have a short, quick one. I have my actual answer.
Okay.
Short, quick one was the first thing I ever did in wrestling was Darius Lockhart asked me to help on a Ring of Honor spot in London for Shane Taylor Promotions, and so. For one night, I've done it twice now. So I was in Shane Taylor Promotions for the night, and the late great Jay Briscoe was there, and he was bleeding. And I'm at my first wrestling event ever, fan or worker, and he came through the back, split open, and he like bled on me like on accident, and like profusely like was mortified, apologized, and I just remember thinking like. Yeah, I should be saying it's already like, why am I in your way? You're bleeding. Like, what are you apologizing for? I just remember like him going out of his like he really like was like no like I'm sorry. Like I need you to understand that I'm sorry. I was like, oh wow, very 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 sweet guy. But my bigger answer, which I would be absolutely so foul if I didn't say this, which is my original trainer Greg Burridge. He super big in the UK. Won PW fame, has done it all. Trained Will Ospreay, trained Cal Newman, trained Nina Samuels. He's the GOAT. He's amazing. And like I said, COVID kind of ended my time in London because I planned to live there forever. And when COVID was happening, the Brexit was happening, and there were all of these changing of the immigration laws and stuff. And as COVID started to near, like they were getting even weirder because we didn't know what was going to happen with the world. And so basically they had revoked my initial visa renewal. And I was having to pay all of these like lawyer fees and legal fees to get my situation taken care of because I lived in the UK for like 5-6 years at that point, and I didn't want to go anywhere else. And still, like I said, very new, less than 5 months in, Greg let me train for absolutely free. And it, not just like you get to come to regular classes. I was able to come to like small group private sessions with just me and like 6 other wrestlers. Wow. And, you know, he knew that I was hungry to learn and get good. And he made sure that there was absolutely nothing limiting me from that in the time that he did not need to do that. So, and he's the reason why I'm a good wrestler, in terms of the reason, like, the things that people like about me, the smoothness, the technical stuff, it's from him. So like From the bottom of my heart, that's one of the most selfless things anyone has ever done, and something I'll remember forever. Yeah, I love Greg tons, and he's the best.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, see, these are the things like, you know, it's like the littlest things and like
Yeah.
mean so
He
much.
gave me money the first time I had a match. I
Oh,
didn't
what?
deserve money for that. You know, it wasn't, you know, it was like a book day of, and he made sure I was paid. So
Aw.
he's the
See?
man.
Take notes, promoters.
He was the promoter. He kind of had to pay me. But,
Well,
you
I know. I'm just saying, like, you know, as I get canceled off this podcast now that I said that. Like,
because the discourse is, hey, the
sorry.
discourse both ways. What are we talking about?
sorry.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm not trying to jump in this either, but can y'all shut up? Can y'all stop talking? Can we have a week on this app of silence? Can we just shut up? Maybe the answer is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe there's nuance in these conversations, and none of us have an absolute, concrete, 100% right answer for any one individual person. Maybe let's just shut up sometimes. All, including me, all of us. Effie once said, we're all stupid, including me. Let's just shut up.
The goat. Effie's the
goat.
goat. I can't. All right. Well, let's talk about what you got coming up for you know, so people can like, you know, support you and all that stuff like that. So I mean, obviously, I have the flyer here for the action show next month. Again, I'm trying so hard to get down to the show. Matt's always sending me the Travelocity link.
Hey, because he's on it. That's a good promoter.
I know.
Right
I need to come down there. I definitely do.
So that's June 13th, I believe.
Yes.
The day before, June 12th, I make my JCW debut.
Look at that.
At the Mecca.
Yes.
In Richmond Park, New Jersey.
You got to point at the mirrors on the top. Make sure when you.
Gonna have to. I absolutely. Well, it's not my first time in the Mecca. I was there for Wrestlers Lab last year.
Yeah.
Against Eel O'Neill, but it's my first time back, and my first time for JCW, and I'm really, really excited.
They cleaned the mirrors this time.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna find a way to work that in. I'm gonna get on a ladder and I'm gonna go up there.
No, they cleaned it. The last time I was there, they cleaned it.
So we're good.
We're good.
But yeah, so I think that's the 12th, 13th at Action. I can't say where I'm at the next day 'cause it's a surprise. But I'm somewhere the next day. You know what I'm saying? I'm booked and busy. I'm Mr. Everywhere.
I love that.
But yeah, other than that, July 26th is a bit ways out. Grab House Las Vegas. The main event is the last ever match of Superstar Sandra Moon. And Sandra Moon is so sick and is the best and deserves way more. And if you want to really find out what everybody was missing out on, she is going to have a crazy, crazy final match against her own brother Lazarus. Crazy. Absolutely don't miss that. Absolutely don't miss that. I have to really make sure to say how important that is. So yeah, that's big one.
There you go. Well, tell everybody where they can follow you. So, you know, if you got more stuff coming up or if they're not following you, they should be following you, all that fun stuff.
You can follow me on Twitter at Darian Bengston, straight on my real life regular name. And on Instagram at Lord Bengston. And I think that's all I have right now. I say Twitter. I know it's been X forever. I'll probably get off that whole thing soon. But I'm there now, so follow me on there now. Yeah. I'll get a Blue Sky or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Go give him a follow. Oh, Good Cop, Bad Cop said Eel O'Neill is highly respected in the Northern Virginia area. Great wrestler. Definitely is.
Dirtbag, though. I mean,
calling everybody a dirtbag today on the spot.
He hit the rap. He punched Gina the show before me, then tried to punch Rosie. I stopped him, and then he made me slap Rosie with the arm that I was dirtbag. Am I wrong?
Listen,
Can we give
Gina, Ref Gina, a little bit of love here because she's always getting killed. Adam's always killing her. Okay, we talked about it on the pod with her. He's always knocking her out. Poor Gina. She needs a raise. I say this every time. Wait, you're
Okay,
okay.
maybe sometimes she has it coming. Like Adam wouldn't do it for no reason. Eel, no reason. Well, the reason was he was losing to me, but no reason. You know, uncalled for, flagrant.
Good cop, bad cop said, "What the fuck? He must have been homesick or something."
Bad guy.
I'm dead. I can't. Craziness. Oh my god. Is there anything else that you want to like share that we didn't cover?
Yeah, I guess I'll just say supporting the independents is very, very important. Supporting the Southern independents is very important. I, as a advocate for TWE and Action Wrestling and Naptown All Pro and Grap House Las Vegas, from the biggest part of my heart, really, really hopes that you check us out in any capacity you can, support us in any capacity you can, because largely, especially with things like Naptown and Grap House Las Vegas, these are largely charity promotions, and we're trying to do good to benefit the local communities. And we have real statistical numbers that you can go and look in ways that we have helped support. Like, we are not just blowing smoke. Like, this is actual wrestling with a purpose. I have no intention of doing any other wrestling other than ones with a purpose, unless it's goofy. I'm always here for the goofy. But yes, support those promotions. And yeah, that's my big thing.
Oh man, I don't know why my brain. Zach, are you still in the chat? Because I feel like we need to put him with the Monarchy. In the feast. I don't know if you're familiar with the Monarchy. Like, they are not my king and queen. I'm sorry, but
if it's the Monarchy, I think it is. Which members are we talking about?
BMT and Ariel Powerhouse. So,
oh
yes.
See, that's the thing with wrestling. We got a couple monarchies. We got a couple. I'm one of like 7. Everyone's the prince of something now, man. We got to get off each other, man. We got to figure it out. We got to let each other breathe. Not on, and that, to be so clear, that's not on the monarchy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like wrestling in general. We have to breathe, but yes.
Good cop, bad cop said applause, support the independents. Conrad says support the independent wrestling shows. Absolutely, go to your local shows. You know I push that. That's why this Queen of the Indies Corner is dedicated to the independent scene, because we need more. And it's just like I said, I think I was having a conversation the other day with somebody that I was like, that I think I started getting into it like over 10 years ago, and I didn't know there was an independent scene. All I knew was WWE. You know, and it's like, and it took for one of my friends who is a ref in the independent scene of how I found the independent scene. And now, like, the independence is my favorite thing of wrestling, as is. And to watch the people like, even like you, and the journeys that you go through and stuff, and to be on like AEW, WWE, and like just to watch that, go to Japan, go to Germany. Like, I love riding these trains with you guys. It's amazing. I love being here for that. So make sure you support your independent wrestling, you know, follow the wrestlers, follow their stories.
We're here for the journey. We're here for the journey.
So, yeah, so everybody, you know, if you see Dylan Hales, smack him with a pie.
Yeah, tell him, like, root beer sucks or something. He has a Barks tattoo.
Oh, I can't.
Ruin his day, however you can. Don't go out of your way. But
good
like,
cop, bad cop's good for that. Go ahead, good cop, bad cop. You know, he's good cop, bad cop. So many princes and kings were at the Viscounts in wrestling. He goes, oh, Darian Bengston. Yeah, so you never know. You never.
That's what I'm happy. Yeah, Viceroy Bengston. I can't wait. Yeah.
Oh, here for it. I'm here for it. But yeah, so guys, you know, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all your questions, all that fun stuff. Darian, thank you for coming on here and chatting with us. Yes, it was a good time and everything like that. So make sure you follow him. All the links are in the description below to give him some love. You know, follow his socials. Watch him on all the shows and all that fun stuff. So next week I am back with Vaughn Vertigo from Canada, so we'll talk to him. So make sure you're subscribed to Queen of Indies Corner so you can find out what everybody coming up. So I have some surprises too. So
will you tell him to wrestle me?
Vaughn, I will. You want me to ask him next week and be like, when
Yeah.
are you gonna wrestle me? All right, cool. So next
Yeah,
week,
spring it on him.
I'm gonna ask them like that we had you on this week, and that once it might happen. You never know. You never know.
We'll get him in the SCI.
I like that. Oh, guys, you know the drill. Stay safe. Support independent wrestling. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Feeling miserable.